today in this video, I'm gonna show you how to run the word count in AWS console. So first, please download the dataset from Canvas. And before we actually run the large dataset, we need to test. So we can vim a hello world txt file, and we have hello world in it, and we save and quit. And as you can see, we have built a hello world text file, and the dataset is still downloading because it is too large. And at the meantime, okay, so it is downloaded, so we can unzip it. It is about 1.5 gigabyte text file, which is quite large. As you can see, our hello world text file is only 13 bytes. And coming back to AWS console, and first you need to check if you have logged in with your account and the region. So since we are living in the West Coast, and we're gonna choose the Oregon, and then we need to open the S3, and we want to store our input dataset to our S3 bucket. So we create a bucket. Bucket name is homework1. Of course, you can name anything you want, and we keep it default as general purpose, and we leave it alone, and we keep all things to be default setting. So we create a bucket, and since we have already created another bucket named homework1, so I need to change the name of the bucket. And then create. As you can see, it's successfully been created. So we click into this bucket and upload our file. Since the actual input file is too large and it may take 9 to 10 minutes to upload to S3, so here I'll use the hello world text file, which is the smaller one, as an example. We open it and keep all things to be default setting and upload. And then it's successfully uploaded. We close it, and you can see here we have our hello world text file in the S3 bucket we created. So we click through it, we can get a URL for this object. So we're gonna use this URI in the later setting. So now S3 part is done, and we need to go to EMR to create an instance and run our word count on this hello world text file. And we need to create a new cluster. And first you need to name your cluster. Here I will use homework1 homework 1, And here, for the application bundle, we need to choose core Hadoop, and it will default choose all related applications for the cluster. And in this example, we're gonna only use Hadoop, so we don't need to check this one, but I'll leave it in the default setting. And then we keep the cluster configuration to be default, but here we need to change our primary core and task core to be small. So when you click this arrow, you can search small here, and the only small core in the EMR is m1.small. We need to click it and change this one as well to be m1 small and this one. So in total, you need to change 3 core to be small and leave it default. And as you can see here, we need to specify the number of core we're gonna use for the master and for worker. So in this homework 1, we're gonna leave the master core to be 1 and worker to be 2. So you can change the number here to be 2 or use the up arrow to make it increase. And here, as you can see, it's already automatically filled with my VPC. If you cannot see it appears here, you need to create one by clicking create VPC, and you need to create VPC, and you leave all things to be default and create a VPC. For the subnet, you need to also create one for the use. And next, the step. Step is the way that we execute our application. So we gonna leave it blank here, and we can add steps in the later setting. But you can have a look at how to add a step. So we used Java, a jar file, so we can name a step, and we also need to specify the jar location. So we gonna need to upload our jar file to the S3 bucket and give our arguments. It is optional, but you can specify the input file and output folder and choose to continue after the step. You can choose cancel and wait or terminate. And once you specify all the things, you can save steps here. But currently, I want to leave it blank and specify it in the later setting because we haven't uploaded our jar file to the S3 bucket. So in the next few settings, we don't need to make any changes, but here we need to specify the security configuration and EC2 key pairs. So here we need to create a new key pair, and we enter any name you like, my key pair, leave all things to be default setting and create key pairs. Since I've already created my key pair, so after you create your key pair, you can see the console to be like this. And then you can choose your key pair by clicking this search bar, and it will automatically appear here. And we choose it. Next, we need to specify the IMA role. If you do not have any IMA role before, you need to create one. So for the VPC, you remember that we created in the early step. And for the subnet, we created in the early step. The security group, we created in the early step as well. And for the EMR, we also need to choose an IMA. So you can create one. And you can give all the S3 buckets access and choose one IMA role here. We need to create one, but here since it is optional, so I will not create an IMA role for it now. So after we specify all things, we can have a look at the summary here: the name, the EMR version, the application bundle, we choose core Hadoop, and cluster, all small machine, and the core here for the master core and the worker core, and the VPC we specified, the subnet we created, security group we created, also the S3 location, which is the default, so you don't need to enter any S3 location here. And key pair we just created an IMA role that you created if you do not have one. And then we can create cluster. The cluster is successfully created, but it may take some time to be used.